never seen this before. We've never had to deal with this before, so there are a lot of unknowns.
Floodwaters rising in Little Rock. I'm Michael Aaron with more on the impacts and preparations ahead of next week's projected river crest.
With water levels still rising on the Arkansas River, there are some concerns about the levee systems in the Dardanelle area. I'm Stephanie Esquivel, and tonight I'll tell you how the Arkansas National Guard is keeping their eye on that situation and how they're ready to respond.
I know it's been a huge impact on the city and this community, and to be able to give back and help, it's grateful.
The view of the Arkansas River from the sky shows the sheer magnitude of this flooding event. Governor Asa Hutchinson and other state lawmakers took to the air today with the National Guard to get a bird's eye view of these historic levels and watch them surpassed. We have team coverage tonight from our Stephanie Esquivel and Michael Aaron on both sides of the Arkansas River. And we begin with Stephanie live in North Little Rock.
Craig, I'm here at Riverfront Park in North Little Rock, where crews have had to put up these barriers for the first time in the park's history. City officials say they want people to stay out of this area due to safety concerns, and it's a similar situation upstream in Dardanelle. I was there earlier today, where city officials have also closed down the nearest park to the river. However, that park is completely submerged tonight. That's where the Arkansas National Guard is also set up and on standby to help with flooding preparations.
The water level is rising from day to day. It's been an obvious change.
With those floodwaters rising swiftly, Lieutenant Austin McGee with the Arkansas National Guard says there are multiple teams on standby along the river preparing for it to crest. One team even delivering sandbags by air.
Some of our Black Hawk units have been dealing with sandbags.
Lieutenant McGee says part of those flooding preparations also include making sure there's an evacuation plan in order.
We do drive around the community and making sure that there's no blocked roadways. So in order for being prepared, we'll have different avenues of approach to get to those people that need us, or alternate locations.
Until the river crest, guardsmen I spoke to tell me they're keeping a close eye on the water levels. They're identifying those problem spots, and they're also helping fill sandbags and deliver them to the people who live in those areas so they can protect their property. One major area of concern is the levee near the Hollow Bend National Wildlife Refuge, and although the Arkansas National Guard will not be leading the rescue operations, they are ready to help.
If that levee was to be breached, being that the citizens are having flooding near their homes or cannot evacuate, we are on standby for high water rescue and also evacuation to take them to the local community center.
There is no timeline for how long these crews will be in place, but they say they will not leave until they know everyone is safe.
It'll just be a round robin. We'll be moving back and forth, transporting the citizens until we're requested elsewhere.
Until then, they say they're happy to be helping a community that has been so kind to them.
They've given our soldiers a lot of support and have really welcomed us here, and we appreciate that, and we want them to know it.
Now, if you do live in an area that floods easily, whether that's here in North Little Rock or upstream in Dardanelle, emergency officials are asking that you leave your house before the water gets to it. I'm Stephanie Esquivel, live in North Little Rock, and we continue our team coverage across the river. That's where we find our very own Michael Aaron.
Yeah, Stephanie, here in front of the Junction Bridge. The river is expected to crest in Little Rock next Wednesday at 29 feet. Not a record level, but still a major flood. And tonight, city officials are stressing the need for vigilance and preparation. As the Arkansas River rises in Little Rock, sandbags are a hot commodity.
We just want to be prepared. Since we're a nonprofit, we want to take care of all the resources and stuff that we have.
For 2 years, the Nehemiah House Drug and Alcohol Recovery Program has worked to create an automotive center in this space south of the airport. They've moved out everything they can ahead of possible flooding, and they're hoping these efforts salvage everything they can't.
All the hard work we put in, we wanted to try to salvage as much as we can.
The Little Rock Public Works Department is distributing sandbags at its facility on J.E. Davis Drive. People can also fill their own 24 hours a day at War Memorial Park.
We are in unprecedented times here in Arkansas, and the Arkansas River will reach a historic level.
City officials addressed the latest river forecast and areas of concern on Thursday afternoon. Among them, the downtown riverfront, where runners and walkers take in the sight of rushing water. The Clinton Center, Two Rivers, and Big Dam pedestrian bridges are closed. Also closed Rebsamen Park and Golf Course, along with several nearby roads already inundated by flood water. And on Friday morning, work on a levee will close Riverfront Drive from Cottondale Drive to Rebsamen Park Road.
We want to stress that safety is a top priority for the city, and we want to be proactive in the event that things get worse.
With high water, even higher spirits as people prepare for worst case scenario.
For this to just kind of happen today and seeing them band together like this, it's rewarding.
The City of Little Rock has already issued an emergency declaration, and emergency management staff asks anyone who sustains damage to make sure that they report that to the city, as that can help with obtaining federal dollars and just really understanding the scope of this situation. We have posted the phone number that you should call, along with the city's entire press conference from earlier today on THV11.com. We're live in Little Rock tonight. Michael Aaron, THV11 News.
You know what? It's not a bad night outside. Temperatures are cool, humidity levels are low, and there's no rain, no clouds, anything like that going on. So we've had a very quiet night shaping up. Here's a look at current temperatures. And again, I mentioned it's cool, but more importantly, this time of the year, the humidity can become a factor, but the humidity is still very low, mainly in the low 70s, pretty much area wide. Now tomorrow, we are going to warm up a little bit more, mainly in the middle to upper 80s, but still not a bad day. 63 the morning low, and again, that humidity not a factor tomorrow. 86 the afternoon high, and then Saturday and Sunday also look pretty good. I'll have that forecast coming up, and then we'll talk more about rain chances. All that and your flooding situation is coming up.
All right, Ed, Yale County Emergency Management sent out an alert to people living near the Holla Bend National Wildlife Refuge tonight, saying the levee on Highway 155 has started leaking water. Officials say to consider an evacuation plan if you live in the surrounding area. Arkansas Department of Transportation crews have been working diligently for hours tonight on Highway 7 over in Yale County, laying sandbags and pumping water, doing everything they can to keep this busy thoroughfare open. The highway is a major path connecting Dardanelle and Russellville. RDOT says as of now, the highway will remain open through the night. There are signs everywhere along the river of the slow buildup as the water keeps rising. And that includes spots in Pulaski and Faulkner counties between Interstate 40 and the Arkansas River. THV11's Rolly Hoyt went there today where flooding is really accelerating.
You can barely see the street sign down there on the corner. Can you see it?
A wet commute for Jana Green-Forbash and her farmhand Steve, from hands on the till to hands on the tiller this week along the flooded Arkansas.
The guys have been coming to work, so we've got some work going on. So
even with the floodwater,
work doesn't stop. Yeah.
It's been like this for a day or so at the bottom of Old Sandy Road. The river is well past its banks, and a creek is pushed right over a levee at the Mayflower wastewater plant.
this is why you don't swim in floodwaters. Over there, a sewage treatment plant. Out there, a cow pasture. We all know what cows do in the field, and look at how close this water is to mixing.
The city has been keeping tabs on the plant. The power is off all along the area. We tried to check on Easterwood Point Road, but Entergy crews are trying to see if they could send more juice out there. Along Highway 365 at the county line, the water is going the wrong way. That's heading out of the river back into Lake Conway. Everywhere you look, signs that things are not normal.
My dad's been in business for over 45 years. Steve, the shop's been out here we moved since 95. This is probably the worst I've seen it.
But the cows are keeping quiet and the farm goes on. A better fate than a lot of people all along the river right now.
So we're really fortunate because I know a lot of people that have water in their homes and stuff like that. So we're lucky.
Barricades are going up all over the place on roads, big and small. Many have sheriff's deputies guarding them. But even if there's not one there, do not go down any closed roads.
You know, there's an old saying, nothing unites us better than sports. North Little Rock has some absolutely passionate high school fans in this state, almost better than anybody. But when it came time for the Charging Wildcats to come up clutch, they did not disappoint.
Off of the bus, boom. Spencer Sims loves a challenge.
Here. Oh, we ain't going nowhere.
Even on a break, he's trying to win.
If KD does not come back, the Raptors win.
Today, though, he's nearly overmatched.
Hey, this is not easy.
Filling up sandbags is not exactly your normal summer day for a teenager.
Everybody was like, we want to do what? And it's just such a confusing moment. It's like I said, it's first time.
This team is used to bringing home titles, but today it's all about saving homes.
You know, that kind of a slogan in there, one bag at a time, and that one bag is important to somebody and it could really help somebody. So that's kind of been their slogan.
Head coach Johnny Rice grew up right down the road in Rose City. His fellow classmate Sonia Irving has called this neighborhood home for decades.
The neighbors, we've all been there for, 30, 40 years. So we're more than just neighbors, we're family.
Irving and her family spent 11 hours filling up bags on Tuesday. Today, she's jubilant, knowing her teammates are here to help.
North Little Rock alumni, it does my heart good to see these young men out here working so hard to, help their community.
It truly is. It's a heartwarming feeling. Like, I'm glad Coach Rice did this because everybody was like, wow, this is a great opportunity.
And a big thanks to North Little Rock, but they are far from the only team helping their communities. The Conway football team providing help to those in Faulkner County. Also, the Valonia football team filling up sandbags as well. And back here in Little Rock, the Baptist Prep football team filling up sandbags as those communities come back and band together. Craig?
How about all those teams? How about that North Little Rock basketball team? That's amazing, Hayden. That North Little Rock team trying to prevent a fast break from Mother Nature or to block her best shot. How about those people who showed up at an elderly couple's home in Faulkner County last week? A couple they'd never met. The homeowners got emotional as they watched strangers sandbag their home, sweet home. How about that Catholic High team that put bags around the Miracle League field? Or Brenda Walden, who takes in pets owned by a woman escaping the flood? Or that flotilla of kayak rescuers in Fort Smith? The rivers are at historic levels, but so are the helpers, the generous, the caring. You grow up in Arkansas, and even us city dwellers grow close to nature, its finery, its fury. It's why we understand and why, as all these stories get told, there is not 1 ounce of self-pity. There is, however, a steely-eyed resolve to do what has to be done, and once the water is gone, we'll see what we have to do to come back. As the water threatens levees, ruins homes, sets new record levels, all of us know it's not sandbags that hold the water off, as much as it is all of us together, facing this latest threat together. There are more dramatic days ahead, more stories to come, and you watch. The higher the water gets, the deeper the caring for one another. We are better together. And to prove that, we are partnering with the Red Cross. Just go to THV11.com/Red Cross or go to the 11 Listens Flood Zone section on our app to make a donation to flood relief efforts. We'll also be hosting an all-day phone bank on Monday where you can call in and make donations. We'll all be right back. THV11 kicked off the 19th annual summer cereal drive this morning with our first ever Pack the Shack. We invited local businesses and viewers to drop off cereal boxes here at the studio. We received more than 11,000 boxes. Well, part of that, a major check, a big part of it, $10,000 from AT&T. But this is just the beginning. Go to THV11.com for a full list of cereal drive stops near you. Actually, I ought to say 11,005 because Ed brought in 5 boxes.
So you don't want these now?
Oh, we do now. Yeah,
you do?
I'm going to apply them to my first live broadcast when I start collecting. So those go to my total.
Well, no, they're my total. I'm contributing, and these are my 5. I thought I'd be able to fill it up to the top, but they took it all out by the time I got here. So this will be here in the morning. They won't go bad, so we'll keep the cereal here. See if we can just keep that as a reminder, right? Cornflakes, what do we got? Cornflakes, Honey Nut Happy O's, whatever those are, peanut butter, Cocoa Spears, Raisin Bran, and frosted shredded wheat. What more? I mean, that's what you want. All right, so keep bringing it in. We're looking forward to this cereal drive as we go through the next, 6 weeks, I think. So it's going to be fun. All right, so I'm a little late to the party, but I'm starting the party over again. How about that? Let's look at it that way. Here's a look at the river flood stages again. This was updated around noon. Have not seen a recent update lately, and there's really, I don't think there's been a lot of change anyway, but we're still talking about record flood stages over the next several days, Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, even into next week, June 6th, June 7th. We're talking about Pendleton and Pine Bluff, seeing some of the record flood stages there. 51 feet in Pine Bluff. Yeah, so major record flooding is expected there. Now, the other factor we're going to talk about is the warmth. We are headed into June, starting Saturday, and temperatures will reflect that. We'll see highs in the lower 90s over the next several days, and rain chances will be very small, but they'll be there. I'll talk more about that in just a moment. Right now, the satellite shows mainly clear skies, a couple of clouds down across South Arkansas, mainly low cloudiness here, and that's really where that cloud cover will stay. We're not expecting any kind of problems overnight, no fog, anything like that, no storms. All that activity remains back across West Texas, the Concho Valley down toward the hill country, and that's really about it. So this is nice. This is a nice change of pace because the past several days we've had severe weather all around the periphery of this high pressure system, but we're not seeing that so much tonight. 72 degrees currently. The dew point is low at 58, so the air is dry. Feels good outside. Temperatures are mainly in the 70s, with lows tonight dropping into the low 60s and upper 50s. So that's not bad with a northwest wind. Tomorrow, that wind northwest to west, and we'll see highs back up into the middle 80s. So 63 overnight, not too bad at all. Very pleasant evening, very nice start to your Friday. 86 the high tomorrow, Craig, and here's your extended with that chance of rain not coming in until Monday and Tuesday. Back to you.
Today marks the start of what AAA calls the 100 deadliest days. Over the past 5 years, nearly 3,500 people have been killed in crashes involving teen drivers between Memorial Day and Labor Day. But some automakers are introducing new technology to cut down on teen driver distractions and improve safety, as Kenneth Craig explains.
Dashcam video shows some of the mistakes teen drivers make, from texting and driving to dozing off. Mistakes that worry Tricia Morrow, the mother of a teen driver and a safety engineer for GM.
I am passionate about safety.
She helped design Chevy's teen driver technology and now its newest feature called Buckle to Drive. It becomes active when a teen driver enters the car with a pre-programmed fob key.
And when the driver pushes on the brake to shift, the shifter will be locked.
It won't move.
And it won't let you shift out of gear for 20 seconds or until you buckle your seatbelt. So it serves as a very strong reminder to the driver.
According to the CDC, teens have among the lowest rates of seatbelt use. And car crashes are the leading cause of deaths for teens. In 2016, 2,400 16 to 19-year-olds were killed. Other car makers also have technology that can be used for teens. Ford's MyKey system allows parents to limit vehicle speed and the audio system volume. And VW and Hyundai both have curfew alert systems that can send a text or email if the car is being driven after a specific time.
This will become de facto in cars in the future.
CNET's Brian Cooley says the technology is a no-brainer for car makers.
So it's easy for them to offer this at minimal cost, and they get a lot of kudos from buyers in the new market. And a lot of families will say, I want that car versus the one that I perceive as being less safe.
In testing, Chevy says its Buckle to Drive technology increased seatbelt use 16%, designed to give parents some peace of mind. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, Fort Lee, New Jersey.
Next question. Can your diet produce false positives on a drug test? Well, next, we verify. Can the foods you're eating cause you to test positive for drugs like cocaine and meth? That's what one of you asked and what our Verify team has been looking into.
Viewer Nikki D sent us this email. She tested positive for cocaine on a drug test, but claims she didn't use the drug and wanted to know if any of these foods could be responsible. Nikki, we're going to broaden this question a bit and verify. Can any foods, drinks, or medications cause false positives on drug tests? Our sources, the FDA, the Bureau of Prisons, and multiple scientific studies. So the FDA themselves say certain foods, supplements, drinks, and meds can affect some drug tests. You might remember in the 90s, poppy seed bagels were found to give false opiate results. The Bureau of Prisons actually made employees and inmates sign an agreement not to eat them because false positives caused false disciplinary action. Well, in the case of poppy seeds, they test positive because they do contain opiates, both morphine and codeine, but the amount is low and gets lower during food processing. So what about other foods, drinks, and meds? Do they also cause false test results? Well, a 2008 study by the Mayo Clinic listed a lot of substances that could interfere with results. Benadryl is linked to false opiate results, while Wellbutrin, an antidepressant, can cause false amphetamine results, and coca leaf tea and certain anesthetics can actually cause false cocaine results. That's just to name a few. Sometimes they trigger false positives because they are similar substances. Wellbutrin, for instance, is in the amphetamine family, meaning we can verify certain foods and drugs can cause false positives on drug tests. Keep in mind though, our bodies are different, so these foods and meds will affect people differently. Bottom line, if you take a drug test and get a result you weren't expecting, check to see if you consumed any of these and see if you can retake the test. With your Verify, I'm Jason Puckett.
Tomorrow, the road to Omaha begins for the Razorbacks with all eyes on this young man. We'll hear from freshman Connor Nolan and the Diamond Hogs coming up next.
And now, the THV11 Sports Desk, driven by Crane Hyundai of Conway.
In any game, it's important to get off to a good start, but if we don't, we just need to stay calm and put together some good at-bats and score when we get an opportunity.
All right, the formula is very simple for Arkansas. 5 wins in the next 2 weeks, and they will be heading back to Omaha for the second straight year. First, though, to the task at hand. Razorbacks taking on Central Connecticut State tomorrow afternoon. Now, the biggest concern has to be the hitting at this point. Arkansas has lost 4 of 5 heading into this regional, scoring just 2 runs a game. So the good news, Hogs hit very well at home. They're 28-6 at Baum Walker Stadium this season. So the Razorbacks, they're feeling confident at the R&R. It's done them well.
We went through a little slump after we were one of the best offensive teams in the nation for a couple weeks there. And so then we went through a little slump to where we weren't hitting the long ball as much, and then we didn't know how to get back in the groove. So, but that happens in baseball.
So it's not really like we were struggling too much as we're playing really good teams with good pitching staffs, and just kind of, went through a little bit of a struggle there.
On the mound, we found out last night it'll be the freshman Connor Nolan. Now, Nolan's 2-4 record isn't impressive, but his 3.71 ERA is. Now, he may be inexperienced, but not really if you look at the numbers. Nolan, 68 innings this season. That is second on the team behind Isaiah Campbell.
Well, if we didn't think he could handle it, we wouldn't stick him out there. I think he can handle anything. He's pitched in front of 10 and 12,000 here against SEC teams and big games to sweep people or win a weekend series, and I think it's just another game to Connor as far as his mentality and his makeup.
I don't think I'll be nervous, just excited to get out there and play. I mean, it's just another game, and like we said, just preparing the same way and treat it the same way as another game.
Again, first pitch is at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. It is on ESPN3 online. Nolan gets the start, and I will be live from Baum Walker Stadium with reaction from the ball game right here on THV11. We had an unexpected announcement from the Razorback football team today. The Hogs adding a former head coach to their staff. Chad Morris announcing the addition of Turner Gill as the Executive Director of Student Athlete and Staff Development. Now, Gill is a former head coach at Buffalo and Kansas, plus won a national championship as the QB of the Nebraska Cornhuskers. And finally, we found out also some game times for the Razorbacks. We got Portland State at 3 o'clock, followed by Ole Miss in week 2 at 6:30, and Colorado State back at Fayetteville at 3 o'clock. All of those games on the SEC Network. And if you want much more information on those ball games, plus full sound with Dave Van Horn and those Diamond Hogs, all you got to do, head to the website. It is THV11.com.
Another look at your forecast shows a beautiful looking Friday, partly cloudy, 86, and it's going to start pleasant as well, 63, low humidity. So Craig, on your morning walk, you won't be sweating so much. You don't have to worry about your hair, so it's going to be a nice morning.
How about my afternoon wake up?
Your afternoon wake up, you have to worry about your hair.
Thank you for watching. Good night, y'all.
It's going to be hot.